All right, welcome back, True Seeker. This video is for Jay with open eyes and all the other people who might feel like Jay. If you guys are not familiar with Jay, he's a young member of the community. He's been around for years, and he hasn't been doing as much with Gematria lately, which is fine. But he's a really intelligent guy, and he's very creative, and he's a musician. And for some time now, he's been dealing with a lot of pain and anxiety and an inability to sleep. And he's pretty open about what's going on with him. So, just to share a little bit about what happened, he wasn't getting enough water in his diet, and it turned into having a really bad kidney stone. And when he went through the kidney stone process, the doctors gave him pain killing medication, which he became addicted to. And out of his addiction to the pain killing medicine, he developed anxiety and sleeplessness. And today he was explaining that it's just so hard for him to fall asleep. And because he hasn't been able to sleep, it's messed up his schedule. It's kept him from doing the things he needs to do. And kind of like dominoes, things are just falling apart in his life. And again, Jay looks at himself, and I remember being his age. He's only 20 years old. But he looks at himself and he feels like he should be a lot more accomplished. He should be a lot further ahead than he is right now. He's seeing his peers who are around his age group who are, in his eyes, doing better than he is at the moment. And just all of it's kind of crushing the way he feels about life. And Jay's made several statements online now asking for help and saying that he's suicidal. And he said in this video that if he had a gun, he'd probably just shoot himself. And, sometimes you say those things and you don't really mean it. But I think Jay kind of means it. And, it's funny how in this life, the best of people kind of go through these things. My favorite author, Kurt Vonnegut, tried to commit suicide many a times. Seems like the most artistic, creative people also tend to be the most suicidal. And, you know, Jay is the last kind of person we want committing suicide. He's very bright. He's very intelligent. He's funny. He's smart. Again, he's a musician. He's the kind of person you want to keep around on Earth. And I think it would be great if everybody could just go to his video, give him a thumbs up, leave him a nice comment. And I imagine on his road to recovery, there'll probably be a few more videos like this. When you put out a video like this on the internet, you want to know that there's people that are out there that care about you. And Jay definitely is getting good support in the comments, but I'm sure there's more people who can relate with him. And maybe there's people who even felt like the way he feels right now. And you can go and share a little about your story for encouragement. But there is also a lesson to be learned in Jay's story. Thank you, RIG. You didn't have to do that. You did that in the last stream, but I appreciate it. I'm going to look and see if Jay has a way to donate, because through everything Jay's been going through, it's messed up his work life and the financial things he had going. He's somebody who could probably use, if you got $1 on Cash App, $5 on Cash App. But this is a good person. And, a lot of you guys, you might not realize that you know Jay, but if you've listened to TFR over the years, he's called in a few times. Sometimes I go to him and he wouldn't be ready. He'd be in the car with his friend and the music would be playing and he'd give us a copyright strike, but that's okay. We're not mad at Jay over that. He is a good person. And, every time I see something like this, what Ocho's going through, what Truth Vibration podcast is going through, King Richard TV. Sorry, I can't. I was late to what was going on with King Richard TV, but he's a tough guy. It looks like he's reestablished himself. Cuts One was recently going for something. Again, this is why at the end of the day, I wish we did have a community space. And somebody needs a respite. They need some help in life. Come to the community. Let's help this person out. Let's get them back on their feet. And of course, there are things like this that do exist in the world, but sometimes there just needs to be one for the truth seekers, because Jay also feels isolated because he's, like his name is, Jay with open eyes. He sees what's wrong in the world. It's hard for him to find people around him to relate with and talk to about things. So that also makes him feel more isolated and depressed. But Jay, if you're out there, when I listen to this, a big mistake that you're making right now is comparing yourself to your peers. Like, don't worry about your peers who might be doing better than you right now. Again, you know what your goals are and your ambitions. And if you just keep on the path and you persevere, you will reach your goals. You're only 20 years old. You might not reach it till you're 30. You might not reach it till you're 40. But if you stay on the path, you'll get to where you want to be. And yeah, again, so many people do that, right? They just want to, they compare themselves to other people. Yeah, I'm not a good golfer. I'm a terrible golfer, but I remember when a friend of mine was teaching me how to golf. He said, in golf, never compare yourself to the other people golfing. Just always look at yourself and just try to improve yourself and play better the next time. Do a little bit better practice. And just golf, it's the same thing for anything. Always just be working to improve yourself. Don't worry about how the people around you look or how much better they might be doing. If you just stay focused on yourself and improving yourself each day, you'll get to where you want to be. You know, somebody might be 100 miles ahead of you right now, but you know what? That person might get too comfortable. You know, you just stay on the path, the tortoise and the hare. You might get ahead of them before long. So anyway, Jay, out of everything you said, I don't think you said anything else that was wrong, but that was just the one thing that I think that you're really doing right now that's wrong. Comparing yourself to everyone else because Jay just feels like it isn't fair. He's seeing these other people who aren't as talented, who've done, snaky, nasty things, getting ahead while he's struggling and he's having these medical problems. Again, Jay, don't get caught up in all that. Life isn't fair. He did say in the videos, like, this isn't fair. You're right. Life is not fair. But don't get caught up in all that. Just remember who Jay is. Jay's the smart, young, intelligent man who's got all these years ahead of him. It's just right now what I would focus on is solving your sleep problem. And again, people who suffer from anxiety often also have problems with sleep. The majority of Americans who have anxiety problems, what the real root of the problem is, there can be a lot of things, not just one, but a lot of times what the root of that anxiety problem is, or what's taking that anxiety to the next level, is too much sugar in their diet. So, Jay, if you're drinking sugary stuff or you're eating foods that are high in sugar, reduce that. It could be something else. Again, he's had some life circumstances. But again, nutrition is so important to almost all of the health problems we face. And of course, sugar can also keep you extra stimulated and impact sleep. I've even noticed now that we like hardly ever have sweets. Somebody brought us a big chocolate house around Christmas time. And I mean, even though we almost never have sweets, I do like them. It's just I keep them away from me. That way I don't eat them. But I just noticed when we had the chocolate house, like I overindulged someday because it was a big chocolate house. I never got anything like that in my life. But just like the days where I ate too much chocolate, I had like even worse sleep problems those evenings. And I was like, it's the sugar in your diet, man. It's this extra sugar. My body's not used to this. But treating your anxiety, really work on your diet. Try to eat as healthy as possible. And remember the things that are sugars. It's not just like candy bars. Like if there's too much carbohydrates in your diet, that does break down to sugar. So again, focus on your nutrition. Another thing that can help with anxiety is focus on your breathing. Slow, deep breaths, slow exhales through the nose. You're trying to get into a sleepy space, just like focus on your breathing, just real slow, deep breaths. And again, not looking at screens. So many people are looking at, this device too much. This also stimulates your brain and keeps you up, but not looking at screens. Another age-old remedy for sleep. Jay's having a lot of trouble sleeping right now. Reading. You read a book at night, it kind of settles down your mind, kind of just puts you to sleep. I'm sure a lot of people out there have had the experience of falling asleep while reading. And doesn't mean you got to read something boring. It's just reading. I mean, it relaxes your mind and it can definitely help you sleep. It's the exact opposite of looking at a screen or a phone. However, there is something about watching TV when you're tired too and falling asleep, but better to read. So, Jay, again, just like like a horse who puts the blindfolders on and just looking straight ahead. Don't worry about everything going on around you. Don't worry about your friends who are doing better than you are right now. Just focus on you. You can overcome your problems. And make sure you're like saying positive things. There is something to positive affirmations too. Sometimes you just got to look in the mirror and say something positive. I'm going to overcome this problem. Okay, I've had a lot of bad days. Today's going to be a good day. I'm not going to get too down on myself today. So positive mindset, better diet, trying out some things that could help you sleep at night. And while it's better to not take pills and this type of thing for sleep, melatonin is probably, if you're going to go that route, melatonin's probably the best sleep aid that comes in a pill form in a bottle. Close, because your body does naturally make melatonin, and some people, they take the pill, and it helps them get some rest. You might have already tried it out, but maybe just do the combination of things. But yeah, there is a road to recovery, because Jay right now feels like just nothing can go right. But you just got to break the cycle. You're in a bad cycle right now. You got to break the bad cycle, and one day at a time, just get back on the positive path. And it will happen. Someday you're going to look back at this, Jay, and you'll be like, I'm glad those days are over, but I learned something from those days. It'll be part of your life story. It'll become part of your music, your story. And again, like sometimes they say, you can't appreciate the good times unless you go through the bad times. So Jay's been having a really rough year. For people who do not know Jay, again, the medical problems, the kidney stones, the addiction. And isn't it sad too? These highly addictive pills that they give people to treat a short-term problem. And again, that's why you really should take your health seriously. Again, make it a goal to not have to be in a doctor's office. Nutrition and health became a really important thing to me in my late teen years. And I have not been in a doctor's office except for when I went in to check out what happened to my hearing, which is still a mystery. It's becoming a more and more common mystery, but my ear's been ringing ever since January of 2006. It just started one day and never stopped. Doctors didn't have any answers for me. And I heard something that Jay said in his video. He said the doctors gave him all these scares when he went in there to get checked up about how close he was to death and all this. I remember when I went to get checked on my ear ringing, the doctors wanted to take a million vials of blood and check for a million different diseases and illnesses, and made it sound like it was real serious and I could have some real serious problems. There could be something really bad going on. But then I was negative for everything. But I remember how scary they made that moment feel. And part of the reason they like to do that is because then you sign up for this expensive medical procedure and this expensive medical procedure, and then you get all these bills. But the only time I've been to a doctor since that, in January 2006, I was 22 years old at the time. The only time I've gone to a doctor since that was recently, and it wasn't for a health problem. It was just to get my blood work done, just to get a regular health checkup, just because I'm approaching 40 years old, and everything came back great. He said, you're in really good health. So, I mean, the one health thing I have is my ear, but yeah, the doctor's office, they often do make everything really scary because fear sells. Fear will make you get that medical procedure. So, I mean, that's why if you treat your body really well, if you respect your body, if you eat well, you sleep, you don't abuse it, you're not going to have to be in that doctor's office. You're not going to have to be getting on those pills that have all those side effects. And of course, when Jay was going through his kidney stone thing, he when you're young, you kind of feel like you're invincible, right? And one other thing that Jay said in this story, if you do have something really strange happen with your body, don't ignore that. Because Jay said before the kidney stone thing happened, when he was urinating, his urine was purple. And he said it was literally purple. And he said he just shrugged it off. Again, if something is way out of the ordinary, you got to look into that. Again, an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure, because that was the sign that something was wrong. And then he had the massive kidney stone after that. And then he got the terrible pain, which put him on the hardcore painkillers, which led to the addiction. And, hindsight's 2020, but perhaps had he jumped on that a little bit earlier, the negative dominoes could have been stopped. So don't blame yourself for that, Jay. It's just like live and learn, right? You're a young person. Again, you are only 20 years old. Average life expectancy in the U.S. is around 80. You can live past that if you take care of yourself. So you're in the infancy of your total life right now. And as a musician, as someone who's passionate about music, you could be making music for the next 60 years. And all of this experience can become part of that life story. But Yeah, again, I mean, just keep your chin up, Jay. Work on the nutrition. He seems like he's a fit guy, but maybe even more. I don't know. Maybe the depression's taken him out of his workout routine. If that's true, Jay, again, get back on the fitness routine because when you work out hard, you sleep better at night. Everybody knows that who's in the gym. You work out hard in the day, you sleep well at night. And you get in the gym, you meet a lot of people that are bodybuilders, and they're serious about getting up in the morning, working out hard. And a lot of bodybuilders will tell you to work out before you eat your first meal, set up your digestion. But the reason they can get up so early is because they're going to bed early because they've worked out so hard in the morning. And I really do think there is something about early to bed, early to rise, setting you up for success. A lot of the most successful people in the world will tell you get a good night's rest, go to bed early, get up early, work hard. You know, the more you put into life, the more you get out of it. And think about also the way how society kind of encourages people to stay up late. But our culture is not really trying to get the most out of people. It's trying to exploit people. Stay up and watch the late night comedian, go out and be at the late night club scene, poisoning your body with alcohol and God knows what else. I mean, there is a place for fun too. So, I mean, sometimes you got to have some fun. But making your regiment, you know, where you are getting to bed at a reasonable hour and getting up early in the day, you're not tired, but you wake up rested and you're ready to start the day. So, yeah, Jay, you've had a lot of bad breaks, but if you persevere through them, eventually you'll get to the part where you feel like things are now coming your way. You're getting recognized for your talents. You're healthy. You're not making the same mistakes. Again, perseverance, I think, really is the number one key trait that people need for this world. Because life is not easy. Life is not easy. And for some people, it's a lot harder than others. Here, let me put the word. I got to put this back up because I just put all these words in the thumbnail just from listening to Jay, the things he was dealing with. Where'd it go? Okay, depression. Again, that's essentially the larger overall topic. Sleeplessness. Again, Jay feels like he's never going to be able to sleep again. There is a route back to getting a good night's rest. Again, Jay, exercise. If you can exercise in your day, eat better, breath work. I mean, seriously, that can make a big difference. Reduce the sugar, no screens at night, reading, or sometimes writing as well. Reading puts me more in a sleepy state. Sometimes, actually, when I write, that actually keeps me up. But as a musician, um, he's definitely a writer. So, yeah, and honestly, Jay, I also heard you say that you still got the pills in the house. I really think you should take all those pills and dump them down the toilet. And if your mind's like, well, what if the pain comes back? Don't think like that. Think about what do I need to do each day to make sure the pain doesn't come back? I'd get rid of all those pills because Jay said he still has a bunch of the pills left over. I think he's broken the addiction thing. At least I hope. But he said sometimes he feels like swallowing all the pills. If he had a gun, he'd probably shoot himself. So, yeah, until you feel better, probably keep guns out of the house. But seriously, I would dump all those pills down the toilet. You don't want pills to be your solution. Sorry, I see somebody walking down the street I've never seen before. I don't know where they came from. So, with that said, maybe there's somebody in the chat who'd like to join the chat. Maybe there's somebody who's been in a similar position to Jay and they've persevered, or maybe there's somebody else who has some good advice. I'm going to put the link in the chat. Maybe Jay with Open Eyes is out there. But whoever wants to join and has something positive to say, or some good advice to share, the link is in the chat to join. And again, I did pin in the live chat. You should see the top pin post is the link to Jay's channel. And again, recently YouTube, if you go to his channel, YouTube recently made it so there's a videos tab. Those are videos he uploads. There's a shorts tab, which are videos under a minute, and there's a live tab, which are live streams. His video that he just did was "I'm not okay, I need help." So what's up? Yeah, right. The Matrix.
Hey, what's up, Zach?
You know, Jay, I can hear you.
Yeah. I've been following for a while. I've known him through you. So, yeah, actually, that's what my stream was about this morning. His situation. You know, it kind of, as soon as he posted it, I watched it, and it kind of actually had me down all day. You know, to see him going through that, knowing that I had anxiety for years, like big time. But not to the point, where I needed any medication or anything. I mean, I was offered that, but, it wasn't never, that bad. And I still have it every now and then. And I mean, even lately, it kind of struck me because lately, like the past few nights, I haven't been able to sleep. I've been going to bed 10 o'clock, waking up at, witching hour around 2 and 3 o'clock in the morning. Can't go back to sleep, mind racing, heart racing, shit like that. Another thing is, I want to put out there is around this time of year, for some reason, it's been like this in my whole entire life. Anxiety kicks in before, the equinox, the spring. I don't know why, but it's always been like that. And seeing a lot of people going through a lot of things right now, I mean, it's something around this time of year that brings a certain energy in our being, and it kind of accelerates, our bodies. And I don't know what to call. I can't really put a word on it, but around this time of year, and I'm talking to like 4 other people that are going through some things right now too, and I tell them, I say, even right now, I'm having trouble, like kind of like an anxious feeling, you know what I mean? And, seeing his videos, like, wow, I mean, he's going through this, but then all the other stuff on top of that, that he's going through, doesn't help his situation. But, my advice, I've been trying to get a hold of him before, like months ago, but we're censored. I leave comments, I never get a response or a comment back, but I'm sure I'm censored when I comment a lot. So, I've been trying to reach out to him, but I don't know how to, get in touch with him, to talk to him, on a one-on-one level, maybe help him out. I mean, he's very intelligent, for his age.
Right.
So, I'm trying to, reach out to him, and, I mean, because I understand where he's coming from, as far as, the anxiety thing, man. It's a motherfucker, man, because you don't know why. My whole family's had it. My mom, my sister. I overcame it, my mom, my sister, my grandmother, my aunts, uncles, they all had that shit, I didn't believe in it. I'm like, no, I could defeat it. I could fight it. But your body does put out, a certain, I don't know, a signal, and it really triggers, and it's hard to get it, under control. But it takes a lot of mental strength to overcome it. Like, calm yourself down, breathe, relax, tell yourself, hey, I've been through this before. And then when it subsides, it's like a huge relief. But this shit is real, man. It really is real. I know you talk about what we consume. Of that is definitely a huge part of, anxiety, insomnia, and all that, On top of that is, if you're in a stressful environment, that 100% will kick off your anxiety, insomnia, because I've been there. Last year, no, not last year. About a year and a half ago, when I was with my ex, I was having extreme anxiety, like heart palpitations, fucking couldn't sleep, nothing. I didn't make videos or nothing for a while. And couldn't figure it out. I was like, what the hell is going on with me? And as soon as I split up with her, the same day, that shit disappeared, and I haven't had it at all since. So just a stressful environment, or an environment that is, that is there, that is affecting you, can trigger that shit, man. Like, I don't know his situation, nothing like that, but I am trying to get in contact to kind of, talk to him and give him
Okay,
some,
here, I got to interrupt real quick and say something. Jay, if you're out there and you're watching this, when people reach out to you, you got to respond back, because I actually had he was real serious about a problem a while back, and then his mic broke too, and he was so flustered because he wanted to make his music. And I said, all right, hit me up, Jay. I'll get your mic for you. I want to help you out with that because I can do that much for you right now. And then he would not respond to my comment. I was like, come on, man. I mean, let people help you. He did say he doesn't like when people help him, but at the same time, it's like you're asking for help. I get that. Sometimes you just got to air it out. But then when people reach out to help you, let them help you. So, Jay, there's people out here who want to help you.
And that's a part of having anxiety. They want the help, but at the same time, they could reject people with extreme anxiety. Because I tried to help my mom and my aunt, and they don't want the help. They'll say, oh yeah, they'll talk to you, but then they don't want nothing after that. It's like, I don't know. It's weird. But yeah, it is something that, it's tough, man. But I mean, him reaching out and then talking about, suicide, I mean, it's a serious situation if you ask me,
Well, it's been going on for a while too. It's probably at least the third time he's uploaded a video saying he's thinking about suicide. So
yeah, so I mean, we hopefully he reaches out to somebody, and if somebody knows. I've been trying to get in contact with him for a while, so yeah, man, I just wanted to, and then thank you for sharing. I figured you would anyway, but I was gonna, message you and say, hey man, could you share this? I'm sure you saw it anyway, so yeah. So yeah.
So removing the stressful thing from your situation cured your recent anxiety. Prior to that, you said you had it when you were earlier in your life.
Mhm.
Do you remember anything
I mean, now I don't know, for some reason I'm having it right now. It could be, me going through this court situation, with one of my other kids and stuff like that. I haven't seen my kids in about a year and a half, and I went to court last week, and there was supposed to be a conversation, at least on a phone. And I haven't talked to my kids, and this was like a huge milestone. And I was kind of like anxious. Couldn't wait. And then they didn't call, because their mom and shit. They didn't call. They were told to call from the court. They didn't call. So I was kind of, flustered from that. But, I think it could be from that. It could be the time of year. Could be all the other shit going on in the fucking world. But, it's just kind of like I haven't been able to sleep the past couple nights. And, wake up heart racing and shit out of dreams and shit. But,
that makes sense though, because just having to deal with all the stress of that whole legal situation, and that's tied to the same person that you were just saying caused all the recent anxiety.
Yeah, exactly. So, that person brings that energy out in me. So, that's what I can attribute that. But this time of year, it has happened previously in my life, but last year, nothing. You know what I mean? So, and I've been fine up until just this past, few days. So I was like, wow. I'm like, is this, And then there's another person I know that also is like, yo, man, I don't know. I can't sleep. He's actually hit me up 2:00 in the morning. I'm like, look, hey, man, if you can't sleep, contact me. I'll talk to you, because, I mean, hey, man, all we got is each other at the end of the day,
Indeed.
So,
We got another gentleman in the chat. He wants to share something as well. He's also driving. What's up, that guy, Flo?
Hi, what's going on, Zach?
Thanks for
How you
coming on.
doing, man? Hey, no doubt, man. First thing, I just want to let you know, man. I appreciate the work. I'm sort of new. I'm less than a year in. I started following you in the Patreon about May, March, April, May, about April, May. Yeah. For one thing I want to say, I have PTSD. I am a veteran, so I completely understand Jay's struggles. Um, I am sending a prayer up for him. I've already went to his page and shot him a positive message in the chat. It is a real thing, and then people can't take it lightly. Anxiety, stress, depression, all the above. They can literally kill you. And for you to come on and to raise awareness for Jay and not only for Jay, for everybody suffering through, it's a pretty big thing coming from you, Jack. And also, the second thing I wanted to say, not to switch topics, but I didn't get to speak with you during your Super Bowl chats. But with Patrick Mahomes, his full name is it adds up to 126 in reverse, like Kobe, like you were saying with Kobe,
Right.
the day he died and everything. And then also in Sumerian gematria, it comes up to 1404 to piggyback off the 144 you were speaking of in relation to the Super Bowl.
Right. Right.
So
Good
I was just
observation.
letting you know I am a student right now. I'm trying to continue learning, continue gaining more knowledge, but this stuff's real, man. And so keep pushing, Zach.
All right. Well, I appreciate that, and I appreciate you coming on and sharing your story and giving some support for Jay. I'm sure that will help him out. So thank you.
No doubt, Zach. You have a good one.
Yeah, you too, man. Take care.
And if I wanted to add another thing is he did say he was smoking a lot of weed, and he said he got a bad whatever, and went on a trip a little bit with the weed, and then he kind of backed off of it. That's another thing is people have, and I don't care, it's people been smoking for so long that they don't want to admit that the shit that's out here now is not the same. It is there's no way that this is the same weed. They need to do the research and understand what's being done. This shit is altering the mind. It's changing the vibes in your body, the frequency that you hold with this damn weed. People should be very wary of this weed out here, and a lot of these young people are smoking it. It doesn't even smell the same, and it's really, I literally know many people here in the community that I'm in Rochester, New York, that are just gone. Mine's gone. I'm helping one brother out right now. His mind's gone. This dude's went from the smart guy, electrician, very intelligent, to a dumbass who, by smoking this, now talks to himself. He thinks something's crawling up his ass. He's walking around saying, "Look, man, something's in my ass." This shit it's really crazy. And there's another guy smoked this shit. Now he's on fentanyl. Because they're lacing the shits with fentanyl and all kind of stuff. And people need to be very wary of what they're smoking, in this day right now, because it's something going on. There's definitely something going on. And I know he did mention that. And, if somebody's having issues like that, and this is what a friend of mine that's going through this now, he's having the same issues, can't sleep, but he's on some other shit. He's like, as he just goes off walking and talking to himself, just crazy shit. And that this weed, man, it's really no joke. No joke, guys. Pay attention, man, to what you're getting, who you're getting it from. And I hear it from everybody. Every weed smoker says, "Oh man, I got my own homegrown." I know goddamn well they don't get it homegrown. I know goddamn well it's a chemical induced lace and all kinds of crazy shit. People don't like when I talk about the weed because they smoke it, but it is what it is, man. It's not the same stuff, man. So, be wary smoking that stuff, man, because it will. I've seen it literally take people's minds, man, and they are walking the streets right now, looking for fentanyl. Oh, sorry about this beeping. All right, guys. Love y'all.
All right, appreciate it. Yeah, right. Thanks,
No,
man.
I'm still on. I was just dropping my boys off
Oh, I see. All right.
at the gym.
Got the
So,
family man. Being
yeah,
a good
so,
dad.
so
Yeah, I've always smoked weed, but I haven't smoked any weed since the start of October. And
I mean, there's
again,
nothing.
out here, there's definitely reputable brands
Mhm.
and organic grows. But yeah, the Monsanto weed is curious. We do got to ask ourselves why are they legalizing all of a sudden? I started getting the feeling it was like a prohibition. It's like, okay, they gave us alcohol when they turned everything to
Yeah,
turned it into the Dust Bowl here. Could
well,
be something about.
I mean, they legalize it and they have laws already set up. They have the machines now that are like breathalyzers for weed. So I mean, think about what they've done. They literally made it to where, hey, everybody's gonna ride around smoking. As soon as they smell it, they get an automatic right to search your vehicle. Okay, so it's a plus for them. Then it's genetically modified. I mean, a lot of people that smoke this shit, they go into a comatose state. They're not thinking. They're hungry for junk food. They're docile. I mean, they're not going to be any, it's not like before where people smoke it and next thing you know, they got all these fucking bright ideas and, they're like vibing real high and like, yeah, now this is different shit, man. I see it in the hood all day long. Like I'm always in the city and I talk to people all day. I mean, these people are basically in a comatose, at 10 o'clock when these GMO weed stores open, there's a fucking line going around the corner. That's not recreational. That is an addiction. And these people are on this shit, man.
Well, all the weed shops stay busy, that's for sure.
Yeah. So, I mean, it is what it is, smoke it if you want, but just be wary, because this shit, you get that wrong batch, man, you be walking down that fucking street looking for that other stuff,
Okay. Interesting thoughts. Yeah. Again, I for all the people who abuse weed, I would say definitely stop abusing weed. Weed's best when you can at least take a break for a day or two and then come back because you start using it every day. You definitely aren't getting any creative thoughts. Now it's just becoming like a feeling, a sensation that you want, but you want that spark of creativity. You got to be taking some breaks.
Yeah.
THC get out of your body.
Yeah.
That said, you get a nice sleepy strain. It can be used as a sleep aid, and CBD is really good for pain. So
yeah, there's benefits to everything.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah. Okay, we have two more gentlemen join the chat. We got Truth Vibration Podcast and
what's up, TVP? What's up, TVP?
AC 130.
Yo,
right.
yeah, right.
Yeah, go ahead first.
Yo,
You got your
yeah.
first Truth Vibration Podcast. You got the floor.
Hey, yeah. I don't know if Jay's in the chat. Hopefully he is, but definitely try to hit up right, the Matrix. He hit me up right after my situation, talked to me. Definitely a really smart and wise gentleman. Definitely has a lot of good information. And he helped me out, and other people helped me out. It's a good community that we're in. Zach's helped me out. I'm still like financially in the same situation, but with the sleep and stuff like that, obviously we have a lot of stuff in our food. You guys were talking about the Monsanto weed, and other things. That stuff not only lowers your vibration, but it lowers your testosterone. And things like zinc and magnesium are great things to help with testosterone and vitamin D, because vitamin D is actually a steroid hormone that increases testosterone. So when your testosterone's low, you get, because I've been there many times, the feelings that Jay is experiencing many times. And I told him that even he can reach out to me. And there's someone in this community that has recently reached out to me, and I talked to him for a few hours. I won't mention his name because I don't think he wants me to, but Zach's talked to him before. I know Right's talked to him before. And to understand your testosterone, to understand your nutrition, your sleep patterns is very important. So like Zach was saying, get on that schedule, get on, live the life that, even though you don't have it right now, live that life that you want to have. If you want to be successful, you just live it like you would be. So get up in the morning. If you want to wear a suit or whatever, that's the job that you want, start doing that. body build. That's what I like to do. I go to the gym twice a day. Those are the things I do for me to feel good and happy and feel successful, because that's what I like doing. So Jay, if you're out there, man, whatever you like to do, music. Hit people up in this community that like to do music too. I know the guy I work with, Novelty. He loves doing music. Maybe you and him can partner up and do music together. I don't know if everyone saw my music video, but Novelty did that. And it was a lot of fun and something to distract yourself from the fucking new world order hell that we live in.
Right. You gotta have your fun.
Yeah, you don't need to smoke Monsanto weed every day and drink a liter of vodka either to have fun.
Indeed.
Not sure when I can jump in, Zach. I try to interrupt.
Yeah, what's up?
I was gonna let homie finish. It seemed like he was kind of working himself to the end there, and I just wanted to say I agree with him, man. Like, it's bad to see that, like, one of the friends is in that kind of a place, because it's a good community we got here of people who see the truth and stuff, and we can't have everybody falling out, man. We gotta all hold together. It's hard time, we gotta stay strong.
Indeed. I think he muted himself on purpose, but yeah. I mean, there is something about having a community that can definitely be your support to remind you that you're not alone in this world. And again, it's why I keep having the same idea. It'd be nice if we had like maybe not even a place where people live, but just like a truth seeker respite, just a place where people get to come at, like, if they need help, if they're in a position like Ocho right now, or Jay, or the position you're kind of in right now, or King Richard. I mean, just create something in the world to keep people on their feet who might otherwise slip off the cliff. And right now we're trying to keep Jay from slipping off the cliff. And I'm pretty sure Jay's not going to slip off the cliff, but he's letting people know that he would like help in whatever way you can provide it, even if it's just some emotional support. So.
Yeah, you never want to be too safe with something like that. I feel it, because hell, I lost one of my best friends a couple years ago who killed himself and shit. I hate to use that terminology, but that's what he did. And it was just sad. Nobody could help him. Nobody let him. He isolated himself, and none of us really knew. And I mean, I'm sure a lot of people will just need to be pack animals, man. We gotta know that we have our people,
Right. Yeah. And then it's another thing I wanted to add too. Kind of on a different note. We were all in a slight sense, a lot of us here that have woken up were in a situation like this at some point. And we got to remember, like, what he's going through. I know a lot of people that's went through that and gonna go through that, because when you wake up, all right, if we all look at our lives, we really never fit in. So we don't fit into this system, this reality. And what he's going through, Jay, is a reminder from whatever kind of creator you want to call it, the universe, the energy, whatever it is, that we don't belong in their system. I heard him saying he wishes, he was just like in college, like everybody else. Well, what's happening to him is he's being reminded that's not his path. That's not his mission. And if it's from experience, being awake, you can't be in the system. It's just not going to work for you, because you know too much. You see it for what it is, and if you actually try, the energy's going to come back around and let you know it ain't for you. And he's going through this awakening, and he's kind of in a crossroads. He's kind of in the middle. And I mean, maybe it's, maybe he's overworked. Maybe he's working too many hours. There's a lot of factors that we don't know, so I don't want to talk to him. But his mind, I've seen him. The brother has a very sharp mind. He's a spiritual being, and he's very awake. So he ain't gonna fit in that world. But when you're isolated and alone, you feel down, because your perception of the world is, damn, look at them. They're smiling, they're having fun, they're in school, they got a job, they got a girlfriend, they got kids. I heard him say that stuff. Well, I mean, I look at Jay, a young brother, You know, he seems he's got a roof over his head. At least he's working. He don't got no kids right now. He ain't got a woman right now. I mean, I don't think so. Those are all pluses.
Uh-oh. His connection dropped out. He'll come back. I'm guessing his phone over. Oh, there
No,
it is.
no, I got a call. You can hear me now?
Yeah, you're back.
Yeah, good.
So what I was saying was, you know, he's actually going through some things, but if he looks at his life, he's in a good position. He still has a job. He's got a roof over his head. Those are two pluses right there. It seems like he's got a family, a mother that supports him, a father. So those are all pluses in his life. You know, yeah, his friends move away or whatever. That's just the universe taking people that no longer serve your purpose out of your life anyway. So, you know, he's, from my perception, from what he said, he's in a struggle with being in the world and being in the wake. And this is where the escapisms come into play. Yeah, he was sick, but he used to smoke, and he said he used to drink. He used to mess with the hoes, he said. So he's in that crossroad, and he needs people like us to let him know, hey, man, it's going to be all right. You know, you may be lonely, but there's a lot of us, you know what I'm saying? And, I just wanted to add that because a lot of people do get caught in the awakening, and they fall away from their friends, their families, jobs, relationships, and then they feel alone. When reality is we all been there. You know what I'm saying? I know I've been there. And, you're going to be all right. You know what I'm saying? Being alone is one of the best things to awaken. You know, I don't know where he's at in the United States, but right now it's warm. Take a walk through nature. Leave your device. Walk through nature. You know, just let your mind go when you're walking through the woods or something. You know what I'm saying? And observe nature. Just let your own thoughts come to you, you know. Isolate and sit with yourself, man. I know it's one of the most hardest things for a person to do is sit with themselves. In this day and age with technology, you got the cell phones, the TV, computers. We're always plugged in and want to be connected. You know, go out into nature and be alone for a little while. Isolate and let yourself come back to yourself, you know. A lot of people don't understand. A lot of our problems are just us not even knowing our own self. You know what I'm saying? So I just wanted to add that. I mean, he's going through we all been there at some point. People are going to fall away and people are going to come into our lives, you know? So.
Yeah. I was making the same point. Go ahead.
My bad.
Go ahead.
My bad.
No, go ahead.
I was just going to add one more thought. I was going to say that you're right, homie. And oftentimes, the times the best things come in your life is when things slow down. You don't expect them to just come out of nowhere.
Yes.
God works a strange way, or whatever God is. Like, all that stuff works a strange way.
Yeah, it's like basically when people get removed from your life, it clears space for you to accept new things because nothing's ever lost, all right? Everything is always added to you. So we may look at it as lost, but in reality is we need to look at, okay, what's coming?
Indeed. He got a call. I think, well, he steps out. Oh, he's
no,
back.
man. Let me put my phone on Do Not Disturb.
Hey, Zach, you did mention a breathing thing, and there's a technique called Kundalini breathing. I mean, anybody can probably Google it or YouTube a video on how to do it, but it's supposed to help activate your 7 chakras. You start from the root and go all the way up to the crown chakra. And I'm sure, The Matrix and many other people probably know how to, like sage your house, cleanse your space. Just Wright was saying, get nice and quiet. Like I live here in the middle of the woods here in Florida. Like it is, especially at night, it's beautiful. Like I can see almost all the stars and stuff. It's a way for me to escape and cleanse my mind and my soul and my energy. Not every day I'm going to be 100%. I don't think anybody is, but maybe for Jay, this could be a technique that he can do. Just get somewhere quiet, cleanse your energy, and that does include diet. So some kind of detox, and do the Kundalini breathing techniques. It's like it's like kind of like dragon breathing. I don't know if anybody's heard of that.
Yeah,
But it's very you've heard of it? Yeah, it's similar to the dragon breathing, and you start your root chakra. You try to imagine the colors of like your root chakra, your solar plexus, your heart chakra, et cetera, and you activate this energy, and you'll start sweating. Like you'll feel your body sweat, and it's almost like if you're in a steam room or sauna. Your body's like heating up, and it's detoxifying itself. It's getting rid of not only bad like toxins, which are known as free radicals, but it's also detoxifying your spirit.
Yeah. That's why, sometimes when you do these breathing things, when you first start doing this stuff, you'll get lightheaded, feel like you're going to pass out. That'll let you know that there's a lot of toxins built up in your body, and that lightheadedness is letting you know, that you need to work on this, because after a while that lightheadedness goes away. Because when I first did that, I got lightheaded like crazy, thought I was going to pass out.
Yeah, you do get like a little body high from it. It is a weird experience at first, but
yeah.
It's kind of like the first time you meditate.
We had Michael join the room. He's also in Rochester. Like, yeah, right, the Matrix. What's up,
Michael?
Oh,
I can't see the string. What's good, Michael?
What's up, Matrix? What's up, guys? How you doing?
Good to see you, man. I've been wondering. You gotta if you still got my number.
Yeah, I still got it. Yeah.
I was looking for you not too long ago.
Well, I actually had to change my number, so I'll message you my new number. I had to change it, so I'll give you my new one.
Man.
So.
All right.
What's up, Michael?
Not much, Zach. How's it going, man?
It's going all right.
Just I've been kind of dealing with stuff too, I had my girlfriend just about a month ago or so had to get surgery done on her toes, and I guess they said they had to remove two of her toes and stuff, and
really,
because I guess the infection, because she didn't even realize that she broke her toe until she went to the doctor, and then they said they couldn't save it, so they had to remove the toes, unfortunately, and so it's
too bad.
It's been pretty rough, but we're pushing, pushing through. So I'm just trying to be there, just be there for her, and so.
Yeah. Did you have some life advice or a story for Jay?
Just kind of have to just keep your head up, you gotta just keep fighting, no matter what you're going through. You just gotta persevere,
Indeed.
Keep fighting. You gotta fight.
Yeah. You want to share anything about things you've had to fight through?
Well, I mean, growing up, I was diagnosed with cerebral palsy, so I mean, because I was in school, I was always, picked on and stuff like that, but I didn't let it get to me, I didn't let the kids bully me. I just, I was just the average kid, I learned as I grew, and as I grew, I blocked all them out, and I just did my own thing and not worry about what other people say, just keep my head up and keep going, I mean, that's really about it. I mean,
that's what you got to do. That's exactly, Jay, if you're out there, that's exactly how it is. Michael's had a lifelong disability. Schoolyard, people bullying the kid with the disability, and he just said, whatever. I'm still living my life.
I didn't take no shit, You can't take no shit from nobody, you just gotta keep pushing.
Well, what is cerebral palsy for people who don't know, Michael?
It's a disability. You get it in your legs. I have a minor case of it. There's people that I know of that have it, that have it worse than me. They can't even walk. They're in a wheelchair, and they're pretty much, you know, they have to live their life in a wheelchair and, you know, be helped and, you know, get going to bed and waking up and getting dressed. There's people that have to be helped to do all that stuff, and it's I was very fortunate to be, you know, in the position I'm in now, because when I was born, I was only 2 pounds and 12 ounces when I was born, and I was in an incubator for like 3 months.
I see.
And
Neonatal unit.
yeah, and I mean, it was pretty bad. It was, from what my parents told me, they were at the hospital every day, and it was just, you know, it was an everyday thing, and I pulled through,
You
and,
made
you
it
know,
though. You're a survivor. Because the thing I know about babies that are in that situation is they die often. A lot of them die.
yeah, you know, and at first they didn't know that I was, you know, the doctors didn't think I was going to make it, from what my mom and my dad said, and, you know, but I mean, here I am, you know, I'm here, so it's,
You made it. Exactly. The survivor from day one.
gotta just, you know, I'm very, very fortunate to have what I have, and, you know, I have a good woman, a good, you know, a nice, you know, I have a kid, I have a son, and, you know, Zach, he's met my son, and so,
your pound pavement.
yes, sir.
Indeed.
Yes, sir.
Indeed. True survivor.
But Matrix, I'll give you I'll text you my new number. I got a new number, so.
All right, perfect, man, perfect.
Well, thanks, Michael. I appreciate you sharing that.
No problem,
Thank
Zach.
you, man.
No problem.
I used to train people who had cerebral palsy when I went to college. Actually, I was a I did wellness programs. It was we call them an internship. I did it. It was some program that the Green Bay Packers went through when I was an intern at the Packers Stadium for a personal for exercise physiology, cerebral palsy, and a few other things. So it's a good story to hear somebody like you that overcame that, and, you know, didn't let that bring you down, you know, a physical ailment.
There were times in my life where, you know, I kind of just, I was in a bad spot, and, you know, I was just like, you know, why, like, I felt like giving up at times, you know, and I put, you know, my grandfather was just, he was only, I never got to meet any of my grandfathers. My grandfather on my dad's side, he passed away when I was just a year old, and he only got to hold me a couple of times. And so, I mean, it's, you know, I've dealt with depression too as well. So but, you know, like I said, I try not to let things get me down. I keep going, you know, so. That's it.
That's the right spirit.
Hell yeah, I hear that, man.
But yeah, I'm very fortunate to have what I have, and just, you know.
And you sound like you got a good attitude about it, bro. Like you looking at it positive. You like, they can give me this, but it's not gonna keep me down. I'm gonna do what I gotta do regardless.
That's it, man. I provide for my family. I do what I have to do, and, you know, live my life, and that's you know, I try to spread out, you know, I try to spread the truth too, you know, with this gematria stuff, and it's, you know, my family's not very receptive of it, but, you know, I mean, that's kind of what I expected, you know, but it is what it is, and then I know the truth, and maybe one day they'll wake up, and, you know, hopefully sooner rather than later.
Right. You make the effort. Yeah. So.
That's it. That's all that matters.
Yeah, and like you said, I mean, instead of focusing on the things that you wish you had or that you don't have, focus on the good things that you do have. I mean, if it's all about frame of mind. Frame of mind is everything.
You're exactly right, Zach. You're exactly right.
Yep.
Yeah. And again, I mean, that again, yeah, right. Said that. I said it. The only thing that really bothered me about Jay's video was that he's just so focused on how everyone around him is doing so much better than him right now. It's like, well, don't look at it that way. I mean, just look at you and look at all the good things you have, and eventually you'll be exactly where you think you should be. Because right now he doesn't think he's where he should be. He'll get there if he just focuses on it. So.
Right.
That's where I can relate, Zach. Whenever I get the chance to say, I'm not trying to interrupt or intrude or something, but like I can relate to what you just said there. That looking at everyone around you, like, oh, why ain't I there yet? And that making you want to beat yourself down. Like there's no point in that. You know, I've been making music for fucking. Oh, sorry, I'm gonna swear, but I've been making music for like 11 years. I've been in and out of the industry, in and out of all this stuff, and I have friends who got signed, who got to do all this stuff, and like I didn't get all that. For a while, I beat myself down about all that. I got stuck in just doing a bunch of drugs and drinking all the time. And I mean, like, wake up, drinks, go to sleep, drink. The whole swimming pool song was my actual life, and that wasn't good. And I kind of lost track of why I even wanted to do something like that in the first place. You know, some people want to be a rapper or be a musician or something to make money and be famous. Like I grew up just idolizing people like that. Like they gave me a bit of a mindset into the world that I didn't have growing up with like no dad, autistic, in the hood and stuff. Like, I mean, my first tattoo I got was MF Doom on my arm. And I was like, man, am I ever going to be that? I saw all my friends be that, and then I didn't get that stuff. I beat myself down for it. But it took me a while to actually realize, like, that wasn't meant for me. I wasn't supposed to end up in that position that fast the way they ended up in it. I had more growing to do. Like me as just Anthony, like the person, had more growing to do before. If I'd have ended up in that position, hell, I might be dead. Something bad might have happened to me. I might have just misused it, not understood it. I wouldn't get it. Even now, I'm not like in the greatest position. I still have friends around me that might be doing better than me, but I'm not like envious or mad about it because I see that I'm still making progress. Even if it's not super giant leaps across to get, you know, super far, I'm taking steps. Like, and I think that's the key thing, is that as long as you can figure out where you're going, that's the important thing, is that you keep taking steps to that objective. You don't let that go. You don't let that leave, because people are going to try to beat you down. The world's going to try to make you feel worse about it. But if you are in yourself strong in your resolve as to what you're doing is important, and that you can make yourself happy through something, through anything. I mean, God, people do all kinds of stuff. Like, I mean, I'm a rapper, but I have a friend who's a boxer. I have a friend who's a painter. I have a friend who makes video games, all these kind of things. Different things make different people happy. I got a friend that collects rocks. Like, anything that gets you through the thing to make life worth meaning. Life is only meaningless to the people who say it is, in a way. And it's like, you got to find the meaning in it, if that makes sense, I guess.
Indeed. Yeah. Great advice, great words, great life experience. And I think Jay's going to relate with your message, because, I mean, for people who know Jay, part of the thing that he dwells on is, you know, he's a young rapper, and he sees all these no talents with the big record deal, and he is a good rapper, and he's got a good mind and creative lyrics, and he's like, why am I not making it? It's like,
how old is he, Zach, if I could ask?
What's that?
Do you know how old he is, if I could ask? I'm 28.
He's 20.
He's only 20? Oh,
He's only 20.
son. Oh, man. I remember how angry I was.
He doesn't realize how young he is. He's still so young.
I was so mad about this when I was 20, but now, like, I got a kid of my own. I got my girls in the house taking care of them right now. Like, I got my own place, all this stuff, but never thought I'd have that stuff when I was 20. When I was 20, I'd assumed I'd faded into obscurity and maybe overdosed somewhere, and just nobody even knew who I was. So it's like, no, man, like you got so much life ahead of you. I was, oh man, if I could only imagine to bring myself back to the 20-year-old Anthony, 'cause I'm almost 30 now. I'm 28, I'm 29. If I could go back and tell that Anthony about this now, in the same way that I could, you know, tell him that same stuff now, it's like, bro, it's coming. It's going to take a minute. It has anything good, it's gonna. If it comes too fast, I'm not religious with it, but if it comes too fast, that means it wouldn't be good. Somebody gave me that bad reason. I noticed that dealing with industry people and stuff. Hell, Zach, you woke me up. I think about 5 years ago, whenever Expectation passed, that I realized what they were doing to me. As soon as I realized about all this Gematria stuff, I was like, "Whoa, what is happening?" And that's the same thing because they were giving me so much, so fast, so easy with no effort. I knew nothing about it. That's bad. You don't want it. You don't want that. It's short-lived, and eventually it will be short-lived. You want to be able to build a real legacy.
Leave it right there. It's fine.
Yeah. Yeah. Things are better when they are earned. So.
Excuse me, to chime in on that.
I'm live chatting.
Sorry, guys. I just ate a hot pepper.
Uh-oh.
I love spicy food. It really cleanses your body. But sometimes you get a really hot pepper. Anyway,
when I eat
Jay's
something too hot, I'll have hiccups for like 6 hours. But yeah, spicy
Really?
food is good for you. I think there is something to staying healthy now. I mean, we get quite a bit. Sweet Lady puts quite a bit of chili in the food, but if I eat something too spicy, then I know I've surpassed my threshold. So.
Hey guys, I'm gonna head off. I'm gonna get ready to eat. So I'll
All
catch
right,
you guys
Michael.
later.
Thanks for hopping in, man. Enjoy
No
dinner.
problem,
Thank you, Michael.
Matrix, I'll get in touch with you, buddy.
And just think about Jay's generation. Just a lot more desensitized with the internet than how we probably all grew up with. I mean, Zach and I, well, Zach's a little older than me, but we grew up with like Nintendo, just NES and Sega Genesis type stuff, N64, and I think most people in here probably have too. But
yeah, PlayStation was my first.
PlayStation, just there's no internet really, like, and all these girls that are his age, you know, they're all on like OnlyFans and doing all this crazy shit right now. And then a lot of people, yeah, like, oh, maybe he can't get a girl because all the girls want, like, they call it a bag now, and maybe he's not getting the bag, which is another word for money. And you know, I see a lot of posts because the guy I work with, Novelty, his girlfriend's in her early 20s, and he shows me a lot of stuff that people in their early 20s are doing and saying, and maybe that's another thing that he feels alienated because he knows how toxic that stuff is, and he just feels like he's missing out on the years of his youth, right? Like, man, maybe I should be having fun like everyone else, but I just know like this isn't good, and it's like a contemplation within himself that part of me wants to go out and have fun and maybe do all this crazy stuff, and then part of me is like, I know this isn't good because this is what the New World Order wants us to do. So yeah, we also got to think like he's in that generation where like it is so hyper sensitive now to constantly keep programming the Gen Z people of especially porn, amateur porn, hooking up. Yeah, I mean that's always been around, but it is like next level right now.
Especially with like Tinder and Facebook and all this stuff in your pocket. It makes it so much worse. Yeah.
And there's a lot of money to be made, and if you're not doing that, like, especially as a man, like, girls are not interested in men that aren't even doing that right now, and they don't even want to be with you. They'll just do a hookup and want to make a video.
Yeah, and Jay's a rapper too, man. Like, that's a whole thing.
Yeah. So he's trying to maybe be more like Nas. I mean, I haven't heard a lot of his stuff, but Nas just seemed like, I mean, he was one of my favorite rappers growing up. He just spoke that real shit. And maybe that's just how he is. I don't know. I haven't really listened to a lot of Jay's stuff, but he seems like a really good guy. And maybe these are the things that he's going through because of his peers are doing all these other things.
That's what I was saying on my end earlier. That's how I felt because I saw all my friends getting all these shows, being able to perform with the rappers, and I was just sitting there and chilling. And it was like, well, what am I doing wrong? Like, why am I not doing other stuff? The same thing with the girls thing, because if you go meet a girl somewhere, you'd be like, oh, I'm a rapper, but you got like, what, 1,000 followers on Spotify or something? Like, you're making money off it, like you still working at Walmart or something. Like, that's a hard thing to put. And if she just feels like it, she can pull her phone out, and if she wants to, get some dude who will just pay her to be a rapper. I know somebody who's my cousin actually, like a 60-something-year-old man. 22 years old, and he's there because he giving them up. Like, I know all kinds of things like that. So I feel it's unfortunate, especially when you're a rapper or a fighter or a boxer, anything where you got that little, like, a masculine energy to it. Like, you feel like, like, in a way you have to be the man. There's no not. It's competitive in a way, unfortunately. That when you meet girls and stuff, tell them what you're doing and stuff, and they kind of look at you like, oh, that's weird. But you know damn well if you was Drake, they wouldn't react that way. It just makes you feel a way. Like, it makes me, damn, what am I doing? Am I wasting time? But not, you're not. People who really hear it, they exist, they want it, they need it, and providing good energy to these people. And you're growing yourself in the process.
Exactly. Yeah, this emasculating agenda, I mean, it gets to me too sometimes. Like, sometimes I even, because I'm single, my ex and I are thinking about getting back together. You know, we're both in our early 30s. I'm 32, she's 33, and she sees it too. Like, she's not able to really fit in with other men because all the men, they just want to get on, do videos too. She's not like that, and neither am I. And
if they're not like that, they're like simpy little stunted boys.
Yeah,
cucks,
simps. Yeah. Zach just learned what a simp was the other day, I think, right?
Oh Lord.
Yeah, we didn't have
you just
that.
Learned that, right?
That's a new one.
I just learned it too, like a year ago. But yeah, that's what they're all saying, and yeah, it's just like that beta male and women, especially his age, want to control men. And they think it's, sexy, and maybe he doesn't like that. I don't really know. This is just the things I'm seeing in our society as things go on. Like, relationships right now it's really not good. It's like the worst time I think ever to have a nice functioning relationship for a lot of people. And
there's so much interference from the culture, from social media, from everything possible. Like, you can't just have like your relationship. 80 niggas is involved too. Like, everybody involved, everybody all around, everything. Like, nobody can just leave you alone. Like, back when I was a kid, if my mom wanted to cheat on my dad, she would find somebody, talk to that person, arrange that stuff, do all that stuff. Now, my girl want to cheat on me, she can put the phone in her pocket. Like, it's that simple, and I can see how that breaks people down. And when you come to also jobs is gone, normal jobs is gone. You say you're a rapper, I'm a rapper too. I don't know what it is being that. I know mine was more or less a lot of it is it's not a normal job around where I live. Not really anything to do. Even at the gas station or Walmart, most people I know are not by they wanted to, because by choice, but by circumstance. It's not by choice, but circumstance. They have no other way to get through that to get through, and that breaks down. When there's no form, there's no objective before, you got to create your own. I think we're in a transition period right now. We're moving out of this old into a new paradigm, to where, like, if you still trying to do all of that, it's not gonna work the same as if you try to be independent. How do we navigate through this thing? We are strong, man. Like, we the same people that built whatever crazy landmark Stonehenge pyramid thing. If they weren't built by aliens, we the same people, and we can do all that again. And I don't know, I think like that. Like, I try to be inspired by other people who are great and think like, hey, that's just a person. He was just born from a woman like I was. He was just a kid. I can be that great, Anyone can be.
Indeed.
Agreed. What do you think, Zach, on the relationship stuff that's going on today? What's your opinion on that?
Well, a lot of this stuff, I mean, didn't even exist the last time I was in the dating world. Like, Tinder's come about, all this stuff. You're talking about OnlyFans. I mean, none of that existed. I mean, Sweet Lady and I've been together for a long time. And I don't know, I just, all the women I ever dated in my life, for the most part, I met either through school or work or social activity. And I don't know. I just always tried to find, people that were on like some similar wavelength, but the world's changed. I mean, the internet's changed the world. So I
When
know
you were
that
younger, is that my bad? Were you ever like when you were younger? Was like I just to put it crudely because I know how some was it more important to just like get laid, be with a girl, than actually like be with them? Like, was that ever for you? Because I
well,
noticed that's
sure, when we were
most of my
younger, I mean,
friends
it
now.
was all about, you know, how many notches do you got in your belt? I mean, I don't think that's changed in society. I mean, that's, you know, but some people are more about that than others. Like you know, a part of me was that way, but there was a part of me that also thought that was kind of wrong. Like I resent, you know, I think a lot of us have the same type of thing that we see if we're in a big public high school where there's 2,000, 3,000 students. There's usually like a really rich guy who probably has his father probably has a trophy wife, so he has good genetics. So he's like driving a BMW to school, and he's a good looking guy, and he slept with like all 40 of the best looking girls in your school. And there's something kind of repulsive about it because you're like, you resent him and you resent the other girls. You're like, so, but I mean, at the same time, it's like, you know, you're a guy and you're attracted to people. And anyway, I mean, everyone's comparing their stats. So that's always been there pre this age. But
do you think it might be worse now that we can kind of quantify it more easily? Because like you said, like the dude in your high school, you kind of had to hear from all the other kids that he was like with all these girls now, where it's like now, like hell, you can see it straight on your feed every day. Like you can see who's with you. Maybe somebody gets. I was gonna say pictures league, but that's more old. I realized I aged myself. I was a cool girl to their pictures leagues, and they got scared about it. Now they put them up and pay for them. So it's like I don't know. Maybe it's changed in a way where like now you can actually see it in the time. Everybody thinks it's like a status symbol. Like instead of just for their own, they were like, I want people to see me.
Sure. Well, yeah, just back to your original question. I just think the internet's just like, it's brought out all the worst of everything. And yeah, from what I can see, that the problems are worse. When I was selling my house in Seattle, the realtor hired a guy to come take the pictures. And the guy who's taking the pictures of the house, he goes, I didn't know the guy. He was just there to snap photos. And he goes to me, he goes, guess what? I said, what? He goes, I'm having a Tinder baby. I was like, okay, sounds like a moronic thing. You're excited about that? I mean, like, who is this guy in my house?
Was he celebrating that?
Exactly. I was like, God, society is messed up, man. I was like, well, congratulations, I guess.
Oh my God.
Like, I already.
Yeah, but you know, I mean, like I've always said, part of the reason that, you know, sweet lady, she's not American. She came over here as a refugee from Burmese. It's hard to find traditional women in America, and I think as men, like ultimately at the end of the day, we'd probably almost. I won't speak for everybody, but I think at the end of the day, average man would probably rather have a more traditional woman. She you know, she likes to take care of the house and make dinner and, you know, be sweet and feminine. And that's hard to find in the average American race woman. I mean, those are kind of seen as like old fashioned, a bad way to be, and out of the current tradition. And in reality, I think at the end of the day, that's what most men probably really desire. So.
Whereas, like, I know girls that celebrate their body count. My girlfriend's friends, they do that. They make fun of her for having.
That's like the new American women tradition, right?
Yeah, they make fun of her for having a low one, and then they make fun of her for being with me and not being with other people. Like for the fact that she just is with me. They're like, you should be out here doing all kinds of stuff. There's all kinds of guys, all this stuff. Thankfully, I'm so thankful. Like something wrong with them, like that they don't realize right themselves. That trauma don't go away. You can't just easily do that with someone over and over again with people all the time without kind of breaking yourself after a while,
man. Right.
Yeah, dating's pretty hard right now. Like, yeah, I've been single for about 2 years. I went from Wisconsin, I'm sure Zach knows all about this, to Florida. And it's still a little bit traditional around here, but I've noticed the shift in dating. Like, I've gone on dates, but they're never traditional anymore. You know, like a nice dinner, movie type thing. Getting to know the person, maybe go for a walk. It's just come over and watch some Netflix. And it's like, you know,
And
that
the
was
implication
cool.
is there. You know what that means. Like,
Yeah, I mean, that was fun like 10 years ago. And I mean, we all have needs. I mean, I get that, but at the end of the day, it's like you know, you don't have that tantra, which is it comes from Hinduism, and I don't know if anybody knows what tantra is, but it's the combining of the divine union, which is known as the Merkaba, in more like Kabbalah, Western Hebrew type tradition, where the sacred masculine and sacred feminine combine their spiritual energy during what sex is, but it's a little bit more than just sex. It's more, you know, it's like an enlightening experience doing tantra, and it's not even about reaching an orgasm. It's about reaching a higher plane of. It's like real love energy. It's like you are making like real love, and it's a lot more intense in a way of of your spiritual connection rather than your physical. And I think a lot of people, they're just trying to get their rocks off and get, you know, bust the quickest nut that they can, and you know, just like Zach and you were saying, as body count type of thing. Because my ex, like, she lives near UW Milwaukee. Actually, she lives closer to Marquette, and that's what she lives like around a lot of 20-year-olds, and that's what they do now. I only remember them doing that when I went to college. Like, usually women were all about that. I mean, there were some. I mean, they were out there, but there weren't that many. But now they're like, it's like a free game.
it's also kind of pressed on them by other women. Like, other women will kind of pressure them to be like, why are you like, why are you trying to be like this way? Like, you think it's better to just settle down? Like I said, my girlfriend is 26. I'm 28. We already, people look at this, we already more or less started, and they don't really think of it like that.
And maybe Jay is going through this because he is 20. And from what it sounds like, a lot of girls in their early to mid 20s are doing these things, and maybe he might be the type of guy that wants like a nice committed relationship, and maybe part of him is feeling that way, and I can understand, because that's how I am too. I'm sure there's a lot of guys in the chat and a lot of women in the chat that feel the same way, and they're not able to get that love connection energy. And I'm sure Zach can relate. I mean, he's been with his girl for what, 9 or 10 years, pretty much since she found Gematria, I believe.
Before,
right, Zach?
I've known her for longer than I found the work. Yeah, she's been with me since before I knew Gematria. But
she'd almost have to be able to not look at you like you're crazy, right? Like,
indeed. Yeah, Jay in his video did express that he said he's done messing with the hoes. He said he's looking for a good relationship.
Okay.
But,
yeah.
you know, again, for all people out there that are looking for a good relationship, again, as men, again, they're, even though society wants to act like there's not a natural order to things, all of us inherently know what the natural order is. And it's even true for women, no matter how, you know, as much as they want to get away from their tradition and natural place in the world and be about this American culture, which is false, at the end of the day, women do want a man that is a provider. So again, my advice for anybody who's trying to find the right woman is make sure you, as a man, you got to make sure you take care of like square one. You got to be able to take care of yourself before you can effectively attract the life partner that you probably ultimately want. Because at the end of the day, pretty much all women, unless he's like a super alpha and probably would rather, or I'm not going to say, but anyway, you got to make sure you've taken care of yourself. You got to be in a good place. You got to be, you know, at least, you know, financially established. And again, I mean, not to say that money's all about finance, but we do live in a financially based world. So to some degree, that's important to all women. And again, I mean, you just take care of yourself. You got a place to stay. You got food in the fridge. You know, you're not. You'll do better in the relationship thing, is what I'm trying to say. So make sure you take care of yourself. You establish yourself. You'll be more attractive to the person you're looking for. The person you're looking for in the world.
I was saying like it's trying to. Most people are out here trying to make people rent or buy a badly set house. Like if you have trouble selling the house, make the house up all good and make it look all nice to live in and stable and protective and all this, and you won't even have to sell it. Take the sign out of the yard. People are gonna come knock on the door and want to living in the house. You're the house. You are the house. Set yourself up to be that way.
Sure. Yeah. Again, also what I'm trying to say is like, if your life is a mess right now, you're not in the right place to find your life partner. Like people aren't going to be attracted to that. You're gonna find other people whose lives are also a mess, and then you're gonna have two messes together and turn into a bigger mess. And that's what a lot of people do. And the next thing you know, you're pregnant, and now your child's born into a mess, and then their life's gonna be a mess. And kind of that's what America's doing, and that's why there's so much. That's why there's so many failed relationships and broken households and kids coming up in the worst of conditions. So it's like you got to take care of yourself, then find a life partner once you're set, and then make it all happen.
Idiocracy.
I think people want to skip that step. I think people want to and maybe not for their own like self reasoning or something. We almost have to something. I don't really know what it is. I there when I was struggling, I didn't have my own place, my own car, my own job. I still felt like I needed to have it. Why? Like, what was I going to do to actually take care of it? What was I doing? So I just checked the box on the thing that made me feel better. That somebody was. I mean, like it's totally different than the I had now for like a year or two, like 2 years. Where by the time that happened, I had my whole in a way which build a life together. More or less, I was checking the box. Told that is man that it's worthless. You're an incel, you're a simp, you're something, and that's not fair. It's not really not fair given what you just said, that in all honesty, you really shouldn't be trying to check that box before you check the other ones at all.
Right. Hey, just so you know, some of your audio's dropping out while you're speaking, and it comes back in. I'm not sure what's causing that, but sometimes you're crystal clear, and then sometimes it drops out a little bit.
I'm sorry. I thought putting my headphones made it on better, not coming through work. Essentially, I was saying, like, I think a lot of us are told don't check that box off of have a girlfriend, get lady, whatever. And that's not fair, but it might be like you said, where you've got to get to the last before you actually do that in a real way. But we aren't even told that. Who cares about that? I speak for myself. I speak for everybody. Even your own friends around you, other dudes will kind of look at you odd if you're like, well, I'm working with myself. My thing. I don't really need to do that. Oh, they look at it like, oh, yeah, you can't do this, and it hurts when you're a dude. Right. And I can understand that down. You want to be able to say, oh, I check that. I can check it anytime I want. Does it really matter? It doesn't matter like that.
Sure.
It should be a thing of like you're trying to build it. What's the purpose of even being in a relationship? It's trying to make everyone's life better inside of it, right?
Sure. Is there some other kind of noise where you are right now?
Actually, no. I'm actually by myself in the building. Like there's nothing
I can't
around.
figure out where it's coming from because somebody I don't know.
I think it's Truth Vibration is not on mute. I think that's where the other voice.
Vibration is on mute. Maybe. I'm not even getting mute. Like maybe I guess you might be right about that.
I was just trying to figure out why it drops out some of your sound some of the time.
Yeah,
Evan, what's up, man? Evan joined. Evan, you got some advice or a story or some words of support for Jay with Open Eyes?
Yeah, so I'm not sure exactly what Jay is going through, but just from myself, I was during the pandemic, I got laid off my job. I had to move back home with my parents. But then fortunately, I was able to, I got an internship in another state. So I moved out there and I found pickleball, and that became a great social activity for me. And I mean, it's not that I didn't have friends before, but I didn't really have that many friends, and through pickleball, or like I was able to make a lot of friends. And then I, once the internship ended, I had to move to another city to get a new job, but I can still go down there maybe once a month. And I have, because of the relationships that I established, I'm able to depend on those people. I can like stay at their house or whatever if I'm down there for the weekend. So I just say that like find some opportunity to socialize with a group of people, so you can find people that you can depend on.
Yeah, absolutely. Again, I mean, I don't know if, I'm sure it's still a website, meetup.com, but that website, you know, when you live in a bigger city, there's a lot of things going on there, but you might see like a meetup that's happening and they're usually free to attend. Just something that's interested. I mean, that's a good way to meet people who have common interests. And like you said, you find an activity, you got a social group, you make some new friends. Yeah, I think that's great. A great life tip. So. Oh, he muted himself. Okay.
And I'd say maybe do something hard, like something challenging, something you want to do. Focus on that. Like something you think might be the hardest thing you can do that you want to do. Focus on that and try to do that. Do the best you can at that, because you'll feel better about yourself no matter how good you do at it, for the fact that you even tried it. You know, the fact you got further than everyone who thought like, you won't do step 1. Well, I got to step 6, you know, like something like that, you know?
Sure, accomplishment. I mean, if you have something that you put your mind to and you're this good at it today, you'll be better at it tomorrow and better the next day. It's nice to see progress. I mean, that's something that people love in life. And like if you have a passion in life and you continue to get better at it, you can probably make that your source of revenue and your income. And if you're doing something for work that you enjoy doing, I mean, that's a major source of happiness. So yeah, I
Yes,
agree.
exactly. Yeah, like I when I was younger, I wanted to be a wrestler, but I was a really small kid and I was autistic, and I was poor, so I couldn't afford to go to fucking school and shit to go train and stuff. But I thought I'd never be able to do that, so I was just doing my own thing, became a rapper, blah blah blah. But when I got into my 20s, I met somebody who I used to watch on TV, a dude who I used to literally have action figures of, and he helped me get into the something I thought I'd never do. And it was hard. It was really hard. The other 3 friends of mine who came with me to go do it, they quit within the first week, but I stayed and I kept doing it. And by the end of it, I felt like accomplished. Does that mean that I'm out here like I'm the fucking WWE champion? No. Will I ever be? No, probably not. Do I care that I am? No. Like, but am I happy being able to go do that every now and then when I get the chance in front of maybe it's 70, 100 people, whatever? Yes, I am. That's super happy. I feel accomplished because I got to do what I said I was going to do. Even you got to like put your expectations somewhere where you don't kill yourself for it, if that makes sense. Like you don't break yourself down for your own expectations. Like you can't assume you're going to be Drake. You can't assume in that position that you're going to be John Cena. You can't assume if you want to be a fighter, you're going to be Conor McGregor. You are going to be you. And you can be the best you that you can be.
Right.
But you have to be okay with what that is.
Right. Realistic expectations. And I mean, that's kind of something that American culture does to all of us as kids. It puts these ideas in our heads that probably are not realistic. You know, they make it seem like you can be the next Patrick Mahomes. We know in reality, that's not the way it is. Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah, you can be the president.
Yeah. So, I mean, that's part of the things too, is that's why I try to spread knowledge and information so people can wake up to reality. I mean, how many people would want to be a movie superstar or a professional athlete if they saw the way these kids' parents were dropping off and family members and friends, and Ben Simmons gets to take his cousin to the draft only for his cousin to die the same night he goes #1 overall. I mean, again, realistic expectations.
You kind of made me want to find every way to get out of my record contract. So I feel you. And that's ended up being what happened. And now me and Adam 22 don't talk no more. So I feel you. Like, same thing. When you see what's actually going to happen to all these people, do you even want to be part of that? Or would you rather find a way to be the Aesop Rock of the world? If say a rapper or like something like that, like if you want to be the guy who has his control of his own stuff, do you want to be do it yourself? The the Ryan Upchurch, if people like that kind of thing, like that kind of thing. Like, I'm gonna do me. Screw these people. They're not gonna take advantage of me or my family or my people. Like,
Right. Bamboo joined the room. What's up?
Hey, what's up, y'all? How you guys doing?
Doing all right.
Okay.
What's up, Andrew?
Hey, what's up, Truth Vibe? How you doing? Everybody else, blessings.
big
Yeah, I was
chilling, bro. Bless.
just listening in, and I guess I don't know. One thing that I try to keep in mind is that no matter really what situation you're in, it could always be worse, and I really try to just keep that in mind because it's not always easy going through life. In the last couple of years, we've all been tested one way or another. I've definitely been through my share of stuff the last couple of years. A lot of downs, some ups, but yeah, in general, like keeping that perspective, like there's other people in the world that are really, really in worse situations that are suffering, like unimaginable things, and just keeping that in mind, I think, is definitely helps, and it's definitely helped me a lot. Knowing that it's going to be okay, and trying to stay positive, I think, is very important. Keeping your mind active is very important. You were talking about better sleep habits and routines like that. Having a routine is very key. I think it's good for your body and your mind. So yeah, things like that I was thinking about. So Jay, man, just stay strong, and remember, you're not the only one going through it, and it'll get better. You just gotta keep focus on things. Keep your mind occupied on things. I think is very important also.
Indeed. Yeah, indeed. A routine can be super helpful. So,
Yeah, super helpful. I mean, it's healthy to get in the routine, and it's also just you're in the flow kind of in a way, and just having your mind focus on things like that really helps filter out a lot of the hardships, I think. And I think one thing is if you want things in life, then keep telling yourself that you want it, and you send out that intention, that vibration. Things will happen, things will turn around, because it's happened to me in my life so many times where I've been depressed or going through things that just I didn't think I can get through. But then you see a little light at the end of the tunnel, and you focus on that, and things can turn around, so.
Have you ever heard of Neville Goddard, friend? Have you ever heard of Neville Goddard?
Neville Goddard, no, that's a new one to me.
What you just said was essentially kind of his whole thought process. When you get a chance, you should look into him a little bit. His idea was essentially that, like, that we might have gotten the idea of prayer and God and all that stuff kind of wrong, that it might be closer to manifestation than we think it is. And so you say in there that when you think a thing, you feel a thing. When you think a thing like that, do you feel it? Like, you feel like, okay, like this is going to happen, like I'm doing this.
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely levels to it where you actually, you don't just think it, but you can feel it too. And then things will turn around, and then bam, something in your life will change that you were looking for. And I think it's because you put that energy into it, that intention.
Again, I wish a lot of people would think more about that exact thought. We're getting into a little bit different topic, but I mean, it would be helpful to the world if we actually understood the way the world really worked and didn't rely so much on our beliefs, but just paid more attention to greater observations and were more open-minded. I was just having somebody the other day, I was talking to them, and they're saying, I know Jesus is real because when I pray to Jesus, the things I pray for happen. And I said, I get that. And there's people who will pray to a different entity and they will get what they prayed for. So they believe in their belief too. And then this person believes in that and they pray to that and it also happens for them. So that means it's not just Jesus. It's not just Buddha. It's not just Allah. There's a commonality here that's happening.
Energy.
Yeah.
Right. And it's manifesting what you want. It is energy. And
yeah.
And again, people just got to fight over this stuff. And it's like, why are we fighting over this? Can't we just say like, okay, like to me right now, I'm having a fair observation. I'm saying this person's way is working. This person's way is working. What is the commonality? They all have this strong belief. They're putting their energy towards something and they're making it happen. And for the person out there who says, well, again, as a child, I prayed for things and they never happened. But that doesn't mean that I haven't put my mind to things. And again, we know how it is for any of us who've had spiritual beliefs. I mean, some things do happen and some don't, but there's a reason for it. Some things are within, some of the things we might be praying for are completely unrealistic. But then there might be other things that are within the realm of possibility, and we see those things manifest.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody knows who's ever experienced about manifesting your reality. You put your mind towards something, it happens. My mom is the best in the world at manifesting negativity that I know of because she's always focused on negative. You know what she's been worried about for the last year for I don't know what reason? An animal invading her house and tearing up her walls. You know what finally happened? An animal got in her house and has been all in her walls. And I'm like, Mom, you don't see that you manifested this? I've been telling her the whole time. She's worried. I'm just like, you don't need that
Like a
house
whole
anymore.
wild animal? What kind of animal?
Like
A
squirrels.
squirrel of all things. She has a squirrel in her
that.
walls that's made a home in the walls. And I'm like, you totally manifested this, Mom. I don't even know why you've been so worried about this. She's been like trying to trap animals. I'm like, stop trying to trap the animals. Nobody's in their neighborhood is trying to trap the animal neighborhoods. I've been telling her the whole time, you're going to make something bad happen. This is what she does her whole life, you guys. She never thinks of anything positive. Everything she's always thinking about is negative outcomes, and they just come to her. And lately, she's like, I can't even live with this, with the squirrel in the walls. I'm like, I don't even know where you got this idea from, but look, you made it a reality.
I was going to say that happened to the house that I grew up in, and it apparently drives my parents nuts at night because they can't sleep. Although I think they finally solved the problem a couple of years ago. But I also did want to add on kind of to what we were talking about earlier. So if you feel like disorganized in your life, or you feel like you need to maybe like improve like your public speaking skills, one thing that I've done is joined Toastmasters, which it kind of helps with like personal organization and your public speaking skills. Like something like, I don't remember who it was, but someone was saying they wanted to be something when they grew up and they couldn't do that. Yeah, like when I was younger, I wanted to be like a play-by-play announcer for like a sports team. And I remember I told that to someone. I was like 12 years old, and then they told me, "Oh, you're gonna have to be good at writing," and I wasn't good at writing, so I kind of had my dreams shattered when I was 12 years old. But fast forward 12 years, and I mean, I'm not. I wouldn't say I'm the best or anything like that, but I've definitely improved my skill set in speaking and kind of writing a little bit as well. And because there's a organizational element to it, so you have to have your shit together to make sure that like everything runs smoothly. And I think that whole process has kind of helped with my personal organization.
Yeah.
I think that's another good thought and advice.
I actually got to jump off, but if I could just say one more thing real quick. Just stay strong, Jay. You're not the only one going through it. And real quick, like, yeah, we all have our own path, right? So maybe some people are praying to Jesus or Buddha or whatever, you know. We got to respect everybody has their own path, and, you know, just stay strong and try to stay positive. And thanks for letting me come up and say a little something, Zach, and everybody. Appreciate it.
Thanks for coming on, Bamboo. I appreciate it. We had another person just join us. Big Tig. What's up, Big Tig?
I'll talk to you guys later. Peace.
Much love, man. Stay safe.
Yeah.
Hey, what's the word? What's going on, everybody? You guys hear me?
Papa 40, crack the rolling.
Yeah, you know what's so bizarre, right? Check this. I have a 4/2 birthday, April 2nd, and I just happened to get in the stream at 1:40 at the 1:42 mark. Check that out. And that was not by design. I can guarantee you that. That was all energy. That was the energy right there.
Indeed.
All right, but I just want to say one thing real quick. I think the difference between, I don't know if you guys elaborated on this, but I think the difference is this. I think like people who pray, right? It goes back to that saying in the Bible. I'm not religious by any means. I believe in no God, but there definitely is a creator. There's something else out there bigger than man itself. But I think that goes back to the faith without works is dead. I mean, you can pray all day, have all the positive energy all day, but if you don't put any effort to get that, even something, start off small. I think that's the difference. I think some people just pray and wait, and the ones who get the results they're looking for, they pray, but they also get the work in too as well. Does that make sense, guys?
Indeed. I think that's 100% right.
You know, I mean, that's all I wanted to say. But you guys had a great stream. Zach, I've been following you for some time now. I'll be in touch. You guys stay up.
All right. Thanks, Big Tig.
All right.
Thank you, man.
Meditation Circle. You're wrong.
Oh, hey, it's nice to talk to you. I just was I thought I could have something to contribute to Jay that might really help him out because I'm going for treatment for OCD, which is an anxiety disorder. So I'm actually in a treatment center. I go for 3 hours. I don't like live there, but it's not like that kind of center. But I can give him access to all the stuff that I have, and it's actually everyone with OCD and anxiety gets sent to the same center. It's like an anxiety center because OCD is an anxiety disorder. So I can like give him all this free material if he wants to check it out.
Okay. If you want to go to his channel and leave him a comment, his channel's up on the screen. JayWitOpenEyes. Yeah, you might appreciate that.
Okay, cool.
Okay. Was there anything else you want to say?
No, I guess I'll just comment for him there. But like it's a pretty useful program, but a lot of it is what you put into it. But a lot of it, one thing we talk about is the vulnerability factors, which you kind of brought up. Like there's physical and mental and social vulnerability factors. And from listening to his video, it sounds like he might be able to focus on some of each of them. Like obviously physical, like working out and eating right, and mental. I mean, I think meditation can be really beneficial. And that's actually one of the big skills they talk about and with anxiety in the center is mindfulness. But I think they usually just do short, like 5-minute exercises of mindfulness. But really, like I think even like sitting down for 15 minutes or, you know, going a little longer and getting deeper in it can be really beneficial as well in the meditations. But yeah, I mean, they don't talk about meditation as much, but they talk about mindfulness, like I said, shorter exercises. But there's lots of things like that have been beneficial to me. So I just thought that I've wanted to be like, I don't know if I leave a comment, I feel like maybe he'll see it, but I just wanted to join this in case he sees this video to let him know that I can give him the access to a bunch of material for this anxiety treatment program.
So how does he contact you?
Well, I guess I could send him my email or something, or
yeah, maybe that's why I'm saying maybe go to his channel and leave that specific comment there. So, because then you'll definitely see it.
Okay, for sure.
By the way, there is somebody in this community who does suffer from OCD. Maybe you want to offer the advice to them too. That's a GematriaEffectNews. So
GematriaEffectNews is that?
Oh, damn.
Is that someone who made the Gematriaeff calculator or no?
Yeah, he suffers from OCD.
Oh yeah. Well, I have like the stereotypical kind of OCD, like contamination, but there's tons of weird kinds. Like one of them, you gotta know. I don't know. I joined you guys are talking about like prayer and stuff. A lot of people have this strange OCD called scrupulosity, where they're like obsessed with like morality and like religion and guilt, like religious guilt and stuff. But yeah, there's all kinds of weird OCDs. But this anxiety center I go to, there's all kinds of different anxiety disorders people have, and PTSD and social anxiety. And so it's really it's not that complex. Like you go to like a nice center, you think it's gonna be complex, but it's really a lot of simple stuff, but it's like applicable to anybody. And yeah, like I was saying, we talk about like vulnerability factors, and you know, we talk about communication and how to deal with emotions and all kinds of stuff like that. It's not really that complex though. But so yeah, I could give him all that material. Just like give him the password to access like the material with my stuff, because I can give access to like my family. They have like a family day. Like my uncle came today for a little bit, and I can give him the password to like look at my stuff. And I don't think it's really even like off limits to let my family access it. So him specifically, I would definitely be open to letting him like access and look at the material.
Okay. Yeah. I appreciate you coming on and sharing that, and maybe he'll find that helpful. So thank you.
And sleep is definitely huge, because I mean, I know I don't have insomnia like he does, but if I don't get good sleep, like if I was like staying up all night, the next day my OCD would be like off the rails, like for real. Like it almost feels like sometimes you have like a broken brain with an anxiety disorder, where like your anxiety like won't stop. And I think sometimes that's where the vulnerability factors come in, like sleep, for example, is like you can try to like marinate your mind in like positive thoughts, like affirmations, But sometimes you literally like your brain is marinated in like literally cortisol and like all this stress hormones. So it's like you try to get the marinated in those positive affirmations and thoughts, but it just doesn't get through the literal chemistry. So sometimes you do have to focus on those vulnerability factors like sleeping and eating, and really like that can help fix like what you feel like is like a broken brain for real. But obviously,
and maybe even working out or something.
yeah, running. I like to run really like runner's highs for real. I should lift more, but just going on even a run around the block once or twice can even just be really good. And yeah, I mean, obviously those pills he's taking might be a side effect of with his sleep problems. It might be the pills. Honestly, he should look into that because maybe that's
It is, because he didn't have any of these problems before the pills. The pills created a lot of problems in his life. So
yeah. So that might be one of the biggest things is like getting off those pills because maybe that's what's keeping him up. I mean, I would think that I heard him. I didn't listen to his whole video. I just have been on the way home. I listened like 5 minutes, but he said that he'll stay up all night and he can't sleep even the next morning. Like that, I feel like is some like weird medication side effect or something.
That
yeah.
can also be a depression thing though, man, because like just from my own experience, I don't really take no medication, but I've had drug problems in the past, but I've been clean for like 2 years. Great, I still drink a little bit of beer every now and then, but like as far as drugs, I'm clean. I still have trouble staying like getting to sleep. I might just be up all night regardless. Like I think anxiety and depression itself kind of keeps you up. Those spinning thoughts when you're staring at the ceiling, like being like, damn it, why didn't I do this? How can I do that? How can I do that? Can't just calm down. So
Right.
I mean, I don't know, maybe it's a side effect of the medication, but at the same time, I can just say straight up with no medication, that still can happen, man. It's still a thing.
Right. Yeah. I mean, if your mind is not at rest, you will not rest. I mean, so that is definitely a thing.
Well, and I bet a lot of times, I mean, I know personally, I don't know if this is with Jay, but like if in those times when you're like anxious or like depressed about something, a lot of times you will go to the screen, like you'll be on the phone late at night or the TV,
Oh hell
you
yeah.
know, and then that just obviously like that's like a coping mechanism,
Fucking exacerbates it.
distract yourself, but then that just keeps you up. And then, you know, so that's probably a big part of it. And I know I definitely tried to lay down with anxiety and like OCD before, and sometimes you try to rest and your brain won't let you. So I can see the difficulty of that, but like also just the screen isn't the solution. I think Zach probably is right about reading maybe would be better, but I don't do that all the time myself. But I haven't had as much sleep problems recently, but yeah.
That goddamn blue light coming out the phone and stuff, man. That keep you, it mess with your brain, keep you up all night. And even the fact that it's just right beside you and it's instant gratification, you can just boom, boom, boom all night. Like,
Right.
Yeah, it doesn't help you be happier anyways, like the social media and like, yeah, comparing yourself to others, but like social media in general, just the scrolling. I mean, I've heard it set up kind of like a slot machine where you kind of like refresh the page and, there's always more to look at. It's almost like your brain is expecting like you pull the slot machine and eventually you're going to win, like find something cool or like,
eventually you'll find the post where everyone likes you. You'll refresh it enough and you'll see the thing that makes you happy and stuff. But the pain is when you just keep refreshing it and all you see is how happy everybody else is and no one's paying attention to you and you got 0 notifications. And it's like, man, these things are designed to make us feel bad, in my opinion. But that's just my opinion.
I totally agree. And it sucks your energy and attention. It's like designed to do that, like suck your attention and it be addictive, and it's not beneficial. But so, yeah.
Well, gentlemen, I have to wrap up the stream because I do have something to attend to. But if anybody wants to close it out with closing words for Jay or other people in Jay's situation, let's do that. Let's go right down the line. Truth Vibration Podcast. You want to lead off the sign off? Are you still there?
Yeah, I don't know what it is, but there must be some kind of background noise on my end. That's why I keep muting myself.
Oh, something happened to your sound. You were just fine, but it's quite funny. You turned it. I don't know what happened to your mic. All of a sudden, it went crazy. I can tell you're saying, "Can you hear me now?" But it sounds wild.
Oh, okay. No, I'm just gonna be dropping a link in the It's like a workout program. Or really any.
Yeah, something went wrong with your mic. It's weird. It's going in and out. But I do know, for people who don't know Truth Vibration Podcast, he's all about the fitness. He was saying something about have a workout program, a routine. He was saying earlier, get up, you start your day off with a workout. That's what he's about. And that is a great life habit. Because again, if you get up and you work out in the morning, you're setting up your metabolism for success throughout the day. You're going to sleep better that night. And a good way to get anxiety out of your body is through exercise. That's a good way to release the anxiety. So thanks for coming on Truth Vibration Podcast. Get the mic fixed. All right, AC 130, you want to close us out?
Yeah. Just, I guess one last thought, basically, like, I don't really know Jay like that, but if he ever wants to hit up another boy as another rapper is going through similar stuff, a little older, who went through some of the stuff he went when he was there, my name here is my name on everything. You can find me, just Google AC13. You'll find all of that stuff. And I always want to help with that kind of stuff. I know what that's like. I know it's hard. But we got to stay strong, man, because there's only so many people left in this world that want to stay strong. Everybody else would rather kind of be weak, fall into it, let them tell them what they do. And I hope I didn't bother anybody too much, talking over anybody or something. I'm be like that sometimes. My bad. If you want to listen to my music, my latest album is called Blackout Drunk. It's on Spotify and iTunes and all that stuff. iTunes is old, Apple, all that stuff. And thank you, Zach, so much for letting me talk. And thank you for, I mean, hell, you, like I said, you showed me this stuff a couple years ago on accident just because you posted the video about X when X passed. And that woke me up. You changed my whole life, bro. So thank you a lot for all the stuff you do. And thank everybody for listening. And all of y'all, just please be blessed, be safe. We cannot lose our boys, you know?
Indeed. Indeed. Well, thanks for being part of the community. Thanks for coming on today and sending some helpful messages out to Jay and everybody else who's in a similar spot. Appreciate it, man. And
Always,
meditation.
Zach. You have a good night, man.
Yeah, you too. Thank you. And meditation circle, you're going to get the last word.
Awesome. I'm honored for that. Yeah, but I didn't watch a lot of Jay's video, but I know he was also talking about loneliness. And I don't know. I just think that personally going through an anxiety disorder, OCD, I think that a lot of times with mental health issues, it's not just one thing. A lot of times it can be a culmination of factors, and community is a big thing. Like if you don't feel like you have a strong community or like family or support or friends, and sometimes even if you have friends or whatever, like a family, but you don't have a real connection with them, that can be like a big stressor. And yeah, so like I just thought that I would try to be the change I want to see and just reach out to him and let him know that people care and that there's maybe some resources that he can use that I could give him access to, and we all can just be there to support him, because we gotta be the change in the truth seeker community. But like we can't just be too hard-headed and just only be doing one thing. We have to, live a life fully and have some harmony with the rest of our lives, being balanced, and a lot of it is, your mental health and physical health, and they're all connected, your physical health, your social life, and all that stuff. So yeah, hopefully it can help him out.
Indeed. Well, thanks again for coming on and giving some helpful advice and offering some information, and hopefully you guys connect.
Well, I thought of one thing. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you, but just before you cut me off, like turn off the stream. Also, I've been in that spot where you're in a really dark time and you feel like your brain is broken and you're going crazy. And it's been a lot of change for me in the past few months. And so I just hope that he doesn't do something he would regret and that we all would regret, because I don't know him personally, but he seems pretty awesome and he's in the community, the truth community. So, he got us that care about him, and he can pull through it and, have an awesome life. I mean, I'm not there yet, but I know I'm seeing progress, and sometimes you just got to take it day by day. And in a few months, then he might look back and that dark cloud might have lifted. I mean, I'm still not out of the shit, but I can see a lot of progress so far. And I think, with a lot of people that are in the truth community, we can make a better future. But obviously it starts with what we can do, you know, like take care of your side of the street kind of thing. And if we're not mentally stable and physically and financially and all those different things, and we're not being the change, then the truth community is not going to have a foundation to stand on to really make that change in the world. So we have to, you know, make that change in ourselves. And I just hope that he doesn't do something he would regret. So yeah.
All right. Well, I'm sure he appreciates your concern. And yeah, a lot of people have shown him support on his own page. And again, Jay, if you're out there, you're not alone. You're going to persevere. But it's also, it is cool that Jay has the courage to put it out there, what he's really going through. Because a lot of people wouldn't do that. And they might just totally isolate, and they might swallow all the pills in the box. And obviously, Jay doesn't want to do that, even though he feels like that. Otherwise, he wouldn't ask people for help. But yeah, Jay, if you are out there and you ask for help, then the next step is to let people help you. Because, again, yeah, right, said he's been reaching out. I know a year ago you were really upset about your mic, and I was doing everything in my power to get you to tell me where I could send the mic to, and he just wouldn't let me know. And I know that's a pride thing. So, again, sometimes you got to swallow your pride in this world as well. But, yeah, I think Jay's going to persevere. So, appreciate it, Meditation Circle.
Well, have a nice day, Zach. It was nice talking to you.
Yeah, you too. Have a good night. All right, True Seeker. Again, if you guys have not gone over to Jay's page, you know, as a content creator, people appreciate it. It always feels nice when more people sub to your channel. But if you guys want to leave him a nice message, JayWitOpenEyes 4 knows there's no spaces, and wit is without the H. JayWitOpenEyes space 4. And he had other channels, they got deleted. He used to do a lot of gematria decoding, and he kept getting censored. He hasn't been doing any gematria decoding in any time lately, which is fine. But what he needs now is just some emotional support. And if you guys go through his page, he's got music. You know, give him some nice feedback on his music. I'm sure that would make his day. So you can find out who Jay is. And a lot of you young people, I'm sure you'll relate with Jay. So, all right, we'll leave it there, True Seeker. Have a good rest of your evening. If you're in the other part of the world, have a good rest of your day. And until next time.